Hey everybody, it's Dan at the Armory, and today we're drumming through the new Summerline exercises. So I'll demonstrate on snare drum and quads and talk about the ins and outs of each of the exercises. The first exercise is 12 on a hand, which is basically like 8 on a hand, just with more notes per measure. So 12/8 time signature is one difference, and this is also in a format of forte notes, then piano notes, then accent tap, and then the last part of the exercise has a crescendo decrescendo. The dotted notes in this exercise are still 2 sounds per beat, so it's kind of, instead of triplets as the normal feel, that turns into ba 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 ba. So it's just separating even 2 notes rather than even 3 notes. Okay, here's 12 on a hand. 1, 2, ready, go. All right, here are the quad parts. So there aren't crossovers written. That's kind of on purpose. I want you to, have to practice the parts to figure them out. So in the first measure, there is a cross on drum 4, and then right into a left hand note on drum 2, which is kind of tricky. So and then you cross your left hand onto drum 3. Then the piano version. There are also crosses on drums 3 and 4. In the third and fourth to last measures, the first note on each beat 2 is the cross. All right, here's 12 on a hand, the quad part. 1, 2, ready, go. The next exercise is double beat. This utilizes the same legato approach that we played on 12 on a hand, but you also have to rebound the doubles in order to get a good sound. We want an open sound. So those are rebounded notes. The doubles are also rebounded notes. This exercise is broken up into a 4-measure phrase, which is 2 measures on the right hand, 2 measures on the left, and then we have a right hand measure, then left hand measure, and then a 2-bar tag, which kind of just incorporates the skills of the rest of the exercise. Here's double beat. 1, 2, ready, go. The last 2 measures is a low 5-stroke roll, and then it's paradiddles that are accent on beats 2 and 4. Then we've got a paradiddle diddle, but the left is accented, the second note. And then from that rim shot on the and of 2, it's kind of a crescendo to the end. So that's double beat for you. All right, the next exercise is double beat, and this one really works on inward scrapes and outward scrapes on both hands. So we've got, so you have to scrape from the to the next strong beat in both hands, and then there is a crossover on the second and fourth measures, right? And then on the left, and then the two measure phrase, right hand measure, then left hand measure, in, out. Okay, and then the last two measures have a split in the quad part. There's two paradiddle diddles, and then a triplet on the last measure, and then the same paradiddle diddle. Here's double beat on the quads. Here we go. 1, 2, ready, play. All right, the next exercise is triple beat. So this is in the 12/8 format, like 12 on a hand, but we just have different spaces and different ways to have an accented triple beat, non-accented triple beat, and then different versions of that. Okay, this format is almost the same as double beat. We've got two measures on the right hand, two measures on the left hand, and then back and forth, measure on the right, measure on the left, and then there's a 4-measure tag at the end. At the end, it's kind of tricky to get the little diddles and then play the threes. And the last measure actually has the most challenging version of that, a 5-stroke roll into the crescendo threes. All right, so this is all of triple beat. Back at the slow tempo, 76 beats per minute. 1, 2, ready, go. The other things to note about this is you have in the first 4 measures, there's an accent on the strong beats 1, 2, and 3, but no accent on beat 4. And then the rest in the second measure, that's time to lift for the accent. Like that. So don't do anything weird like lift too quick or stay down too long. Otherwise, you're going to kind of just pound the accent. So that's one of the ideas. Other things about threes. This is a slow speed of threes. So make sure you're not lifting with the arm because it'll be too condensed. You'll come down kind of flat like that. So the idea is that we're playing 1 wrist stroke but 3 even notes. All right. All right, this is the triple beat for the quads. In the second and fourth measure, that's where the crossovers are. So you can lift in the space and move your stick to that correct beating spot. And then there's a 3-drum scrape in measures 5 and 6. Oops. Right, you gotta get. And then all of the 3s in the 6-note groupings, they're ins and outs, just like the beginning of the exercise, okay? So this is triple beat on the quads. 1, 2, ready, go. The next exercise is triplet rolls. So this is, again, a brand new version of triplet diddle and working on right and left diddles and combinations of diddles. So what we have here is the first three measures are right hand lead rolls. Pretty standard in the first two measures, but the third measure, you're going to start that roll right after beat 2. Then we've got two measures of left hand patterns. And then by that fifth measure, observe the forte piano, and then it turns into a two-heighted exercise. Okay, and then we've got downbeat rolls. And then just diddles, then the accent on the third partial. And then the last three measures is, again, kind of just a tag, a different way of adding different musical elements. All right, here's triplet rolls at 140 beats per minute. The next exercise is triplet rolls. So this has a lot of like check on one drum and then the diddle patterns move around a lot. So it's not the easiest thing to remember, but that's okay. You just got to learn the part. Play each measure one at a time and then put them together. Okay, so this is triplet rolls. The fourth exercise is a flam builder. So what we have in the first two measures is just taps setting up an accent pattern, and then we've got a melody that happens. This is kind of borrowed from an old Vanguard and Regiment exercise that Paul Rennick taught us, and they call it Jeepers Creepers because of how the melody goes. Jeepers Creepers. So that's the middle part of it, and then it goes from the E to the beat. So that the middle chunk of the exercise works on flam accents and flam taps and one Swiss. And then the last two measures is 5-note groupings with drags. Okay, so this is all of flams. One. The fourth exercise is the flam builder, and the first two measures really just move around the drums so the accents kind of change where the drums are. And then all of the flam patterns are, again, something you have to practice. It's not in any sort of pattern, okay? There's a tricky spot in the fourth measure. So after the right grace note, you have to get from drum 3 to drum 1. And then there are crossovers in the next measure. And then a third crossover on the next E of 1. And then there's the last measure, the flam 5 off the right. That's a crossover as well on drum 4. Okay, here goes flams.